Notes from my May 2024 reading of American Sniper by Chris Kyle. So I am Tanis Coralee Leonhardi, Chief Affairs of Seattle. This is my YouTube channel, Tanis Leonhardi, at least currently. And these are my notes for my May 2024 reading of an autobiography / memoir on United States of America Navy sniper Chris Kyle. So the full name of the autobiography is American Sniper, the Autobiography of the Most Lethal Sniper in U.S. History by Chris Kyle, with DeFelice and Scott McEwen. First publishing was 2012, and this is the 2014-2015 HarperCollins edition, which after the book was published, it was turned into a movie. So this one was published later and it incorporates movie artwork on the book. This is a paperback edition. I'll put ISBN in the video description. I started the book on Wednesday, 22 May 2024, and finished the book today on Sunday, 26 May 2024. So 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 25 days. And it's 379 pages. So I did have to pick up my reading rate a bit. I read over 100 pages multiple days. Compared to like pre-Molly's game level, I guess. I stopped at page 379. There's additional like material after that. However, it was stuff that happened after the guy died and after the movie was made. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stop at 379, so it's like the first edition kind of material. Okay, and I got this from the King County Library System, KCLS, in Washington State, United States of America, Planet Earth, the original. I put it on hold and picked it up once it was delivered. And so I'll start with book notes. Was a good page size. The book, like it fit in my hand, you can see. I appreciated the harder cover. It didn't bend like and fold, so I didn't have to worry about creasing the outside of the book, which I appreciated. The pages were a little thinner, but not so thin that I was concerned about tearing it. And there's big spaces between sections, but aside from that, the text can be rather full on a page. It does between breaks, a break in paragraph, kind of spaces. There's small caps, everything's in caps, but like there's some big and some small, but it's small caps, not all like regular size caps. There's big and small caps kind of thing. Small caps typesetting. And then there's kind of, in terms of writing style, which goes a bit with formatting, there's kind of, he'll introduce a concept or something and then kind of define it with the text that follows. And it's like a subsection within a chapter. And the chapters were like a word theme or a term theme, kind of, and it fit, if I could understand it, it fit my experience here with sniperdom, being my granddad Andrew was a sniper in the United States of America Army. So there's black and white or grayscale, whichever one wants to term it, visuals in here as well. And oh, he provides, sometimes he gets writing from his wife and puts it in the book, and it's formatted differently. It's like a quote block type formatting, and it says the name of his wife, Taya, and then has what she wrote in italic font, so that it can be differentiated from the text he wrote. So there's my book notes, which includes construction and design. And then reading notes, so it covers his life and focuses on his time in service in the United States of American Navy over in the Iraq War, which was 2003 to like August, September 2021. So it turned out to be a longer war, and he really emphasizes it that this book is from his perspective. So that's kind of something to keep in mind when reading it. Is he's not telling the story from everybody's perspective; it's his story. And and so I thought that was a good thing to point out. And anything I thought it was something I learned was kind of, he brings up that the people they're fighting in the Middle East, kind of, there's been a change from the start of the war to like where he is in the story kind of thing. And so it's kind of an interesting thing because the people they're fighting adapt, right, to the weaponry and changes in weaponry and stuff, right, and get better at attacking in response. And you know, he brings up, kills over triple digits, right, over 100 people he snipes. And then there was another occasion where they, in a firefight, killed 96 American soldiers, kind of thing. So it goes both ways, which I appreciated. But there is the cost of going to war, is if one wants to be able to launch a surprise, so to speak, or make the differential in ability different. Fighting allows the other side to adapt and evolve. Right? And especially then if a country pulls out and then goes back, if the people over in the country where they're fighting, or in the Middle East, remember the tactics used on them, and those are the tactics that are brought back. And if they remember it better than the fresh meat, so to speak, that are brought over, it could go a whole lot worse than it did the first time around. So that kind of thing. And the dates of the war was like approximately 2003 to 2021, but then there were problems pulling out, so 2022, that kind of thing. So yeah. And then I did flag a few things. I stickied it to bring up, so we'll go through those. He talks about why he's writing the book, and he says a lot of people liked to talk about his life, and he wanted to make sure that it was written down or shared accurately. It means a lot of people talking doesn't mean they're talking the truth. Did I already? Sorry, page 5. Then on page 19, he brings up that Wikipedia has a good article on SEALs and SPUDs training. A Navy SEAL, SE stands for sea, A for air, L for land. He was a Navy SEAL, focusing on the land part. The sniper part is on the land, on land kind of thing. So I thought I had someone who's written and published on Wikipedia with at least the intent for it to be accurate. And it's like, yeah, it's cool to have Wikipedia right up there. And it has been done in at least one autobiography or biography, right? People actually including Wikipedia in what's written there. Then let's see. Page 77. Oh, this is one that was like somewhere in that realization of like the people can actually adapt to the technology that being used on them. So too, with advances in technology, humans adapt to those technologies being used on them. So if they adapt more than the technology can be rendered harmful to the person using the technology. Okay, and then page 209. Do I remember? Oh, talking about the Army, dynamic between the Army and the Navy. And so he kind of, which is a recurring thing, but I flagged for this page. So my family sniper, my granddad was Army and he's Navy. And then I had in the, my other grandfather, my grandpa was a fighter pilot in the United States American Navy. But it's an interesting one. In terms of like, he kind of brings up that dynamic, and this is where I flagged it, was page 209 of the, he kind of looks down on the Army snipers in the Army. Okay. Page 300, he brings up that a lot of people back in the United States of America don't like actually accept that the United States of America is at war. I was like, that's true for like all sports governing bodies as well. And it's like, they are like, we're just going to say that it's justified to kill Muslims, you know, and people who practice Islam. If they actually genuinely supported peace, right, the United States of America would have conditions imposed on them. Medals stripped, disqualified, like countries declared at war, or at least one, right, were not allowed to compete, so no medals, so disqualify all results during the Iraq War, right, if they were being serious about sporting excellence and neutrality and world peace. And they're just like, yeah. So essentially sports governing bodies and right, event organizers in sports are just very hateful individuals, not capable of kindness, and only supports killing if it's the country they like the United States of America. Or there would have been justice taken by now. Maybe there will be in the future. Maybe they'll grow up. Maybe they'll actually support peace. Not currently, and not in my lifetime, when it matters, you know. Or not, how about this? Not in a fair hand have they done in my lifetime. And I was born in the early to mid 1990s. And then, oh yeah, Taya can, in one of her passages, was that she talks about how she didn't fall in love with the title Navy SEAL when it came to Chris. He fell in love with the person. And I was like, yeah, there's some people who are like, they just want to marry an Olympian, or they just want to marry an Olympic gold medalist. And she's like, she's not that type. You know, she's not the gold digger. And so I was like, go girl, go. That was page 312. And then after page 360, they talk about after he's left the service, and they're getting ready to sell their house. Then she moved in with him because he's in Texas and they were living in San Diego, kind of thing. And I was like, yes. And she says it's a lot of work. And so it's like, if I move in with my boyfriend Josh Kerr, we move in Seattle, and then we get our dream house, we have to get that house in Seattle ready to sell, which is, well, then maybe sell it after we move into our dream house, right? So our stuff is somewhere, kind of thing. So we don't have to be like, Mom and Dad, can we put our stuff with you? Be like, no. You know, have a little bit of overlap where stuff is in the new house, and then clean up and get ready to sell and sell the other house, the Seattle house. So there we go. And then anything else? I was in reading this and talking about this with my parents as I read it. Let's see if I have time. I do, barely, but I do. I was thinking of parents make YouTube videos where they talk with video, share their stories. They had good stories in relation to this and just in their life in general. And they're very knowledgeable and have life experience that I think people would enjoy hearing. And I was like, maybe that's what they do. They make a YouTube channel and it's like just talking story with video. I think I would watch that. I would enjoy that. So in conclusion, 379 pages, 5 days for me. Tanis Coralee Leonhardi, She, Her, Hers of Seattle. It was good. I think I'd give it 5 out of 5 stars. So there we go. Notes from my May 2024 reading of American Sniper by Chris Kyle.